Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the Camden Hills Regional High School Class of 2018 graduation ceremony. As we begin, graduates and family, please join me in a round of applause for the faculty and staff who have done so much for these graduates. On behalf of the graduates, staff, and administration of Camden Hills Regional High School, I'd like to thank you, the Five Towns community, for your support of this high school. As you look upon this stage as graduates, I hope you are proud of your investment. It is my honor to be able to speak a few words to all of you. But first, I'd like to share a few words you shared with your children this morning on Post-it notes. Hard to believe we've survived all the flame-throwing, potato shooting, sparks, and speed. You are an amazing son. I love you to the moon and back. Son, I'm so proud of the young man you've become. I hope in college you procrastinate less, but I won't know about it, so it's all good. I love you, Mom. Congratulations. I love you, and I still pay your cell phone bill. So call me. You are off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. But first, clean your room and put gas in your car. Congratulations. You earned more than a high school degree. You earned my respect. Love, Dad. You are my blue crayon, the one that has colored my sky. I love you, Mom. This is a wonderful tradition that occurs here among many. Graduates of the class of 2018, breathe in deep. You've made it. Your effort and commitment has led you here. I'd like to share a poem that isn't deep, but captures the journey so many of you have traveled with your family and friends. It describes the thoughts of a father on his daughter's life. The poem is by Richard Wilbur and is called The Writer. In her room at the prow of the house, where light breaks and the windows are tossed with linden, my daughter is writing a story. I pause in the stairwell, hearing from her shut door a commotion of typewriter keys, like a chain hauled over a gunwale. Young as she is, the stuff of her life is a great cargo, and some of it is heavy. I wish her a lucky passage. But now it is she who pauses, as if to reject my thought and its easy figure. A stillness greatens, in which the whole house seems to be thinking, and then she is at it again with bunched clamor of strokes, and then again is silent. I remember the day's starling, which was trapped in that very room 2 years ago, how we stole in, lifted a sash, and retreated, not to affright it, and how for a helpless hour, through the crack of the door, we watched the sleek, wild, dark, and iridescent creature batter against the brilliance, drop like a glove to the hard floor or to the desktop, and wait then, humped and bloody, for the wits to try it again. And how our spirits rose when, suddenly sure, it lifted off from a chair back, beating a smooth course for the right window and clearing the sill of the world. It is always a matter, my darling, of life or death, as I had forgotten. I wish what I wished you before, but harder. I like this poem for its images. Many of you have had the opportunity to watch quietly as your graduate worked on the essay for Mr. Doubleday, the lab report for Ms. Murphy, or the art project for Ms. Southworth. Graduates, we have seen you search for the right word or the correct image. We all realize that despite your young age, many of you are carrying a great cargo, and it is heavy. I also like this poem because, as the author reminds us in the second half, your struggles and efforts, like those of the starling, these past 4 years have not just been to complete the essay or project, but in fact have been a struggle to find your way in the world, to find your own path. Your efforts in fits and starts have also been to find the open window into the larger world. I've noted this year, as I have in so many other graduation seasons, the nature and quality of the advice shared with you. 2 strands are common. One approach is to encourage you to reach for your goals, be all you can be, and follow your passions. Another theme emphasizes the essential components of character and exhorts you to live those values. As I listened to the speakers in the ceremonies this week, I was reminded of a book by David Brooks entitled The Road to Character. In his reflection, he notes the difference between resume virtues and eulogy virtues. Resume virtues contribute to your external success. They are the skills and understandings that you bring to your next job or educational venture. Eulogy virtues are deeper and not so easily captured. As Mr. Brooks describes, they are the virtues that get talked about at your funeral, the ones that exist at the core of your being, whether you are kind or brave, honest or faithful, a good friend or a committed partner. Graduates, in so many ways, you have impressed your family and friends and teachers with your resume successes. But we have also watched many of you developing your eulogy virtues, and here too we are all proud of you. The great trick, in my humble opinion, is to balance these 2 competing sets of virtues. Our resume virtues require us to look outward, while our eulogy virtues require us to look inward. One set requires us to hone our strengths, while the other requires us to confront our weaknesses. They are competing narratives, and they're both important. I note that I don't have better words to share than what you've heard from some of the many people willing to participate in this week's ceremonies. I don't have the wit or wisdom of Father Valancourt, who spoke at baccalaureate, or the heartfelt words of Mr. Daly at senior banquet. I don't have better words, but I do have a little experience to share. As I've gotten older, I've found that the eulogy virtues have opened windows to grander vistas and more beautiful views. The effort to more fully live these virtues has made me a better man and provided me with happiness. I do not have secret advice on how to balance the 2 sets of virtues. Each of you must find the path that leads to the sill of the window in that larger world. But I believe that that sill is waiting for each of you too. So leave here today, throw yourself at the windows of the world, chase your dreams, write your story, and know that your friends and family are watching with bated breath as you search for the right words and the path to that sill. You may have to pick yourself up off the floor more times than you want to imagine, but the path is there and you will find it. I wish, we all wish with our entire beings, that you find a safe passage. We have opened a window for you, class of 2018. Go find it, and congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Noah Hydorn, and I'd like to welcome you all to the graduation ceremony for the Camden Hills Regional High School class of 2018. Whether you are sitting in the audience as a family member or faculty or even just a friend, we are happy you're here and are thankful for whatever role you've helped play in getting us to this moment here today. To avoid thinking about how the ending of our class's high school career appears to be happening what seems like 2 days after our freshman orientation, I found myself working on a puzzle that was sitting in the school library on top of one of the bookshelves. The illustration on the puzzle was a scene much like something that could be observed in the mid-coast. A harbor with sailboats lining the smooth blue surface of the water, seagulls flying in the air, and people standing on docks tending to their boats. As I stood there trying to focus myself on the image of the harbor, I found that I was mesmerized by the simple sophistication of each of the puzzle pieces. As I looked at each individual piece, I noticed how there were so many different orientations of the cardboard. Each piece's orientation assigned itself a purpose of connecting with the pieces that it was meant to be connected with, so that the puzzle could eventually be complete, and then later torn apart to be started all over again. My time with the puzzle didn't last very long, but it did lead me to a very important conclusion. The power is in the pieces. The only way to complete a puzzle is to have all of its pieces. For each oddly oriented piece, to find the other pieces that they are supposed to be grouped around, and at some point, to culminate those efforts, those groups merge to form the completed puzzle. Like the puzzle, our class is characterized by curiously oriented personalities. Over the past 4 years, those personalities have found themselves forming friendships and becoming a part of groups that have an affinity for appreciating their school and their community in a similar way. The last step, merging those groups together to complete the puzzle, has admittedly been a struggle for our class. But that is the beauty of this graduation ceremony and is why we are all gathered here tonight. Sitting behind me is the completed puzzle, the unified groups of oddly oriented pieces who, for one night, have found our puzzle of high school fully completed. The special thing about a puzzle is that you can't appreciate its beauty until it's fully complete. As I stand here tonight, I have such an appreciation for the completed puzzle that sits behind me, but also an appreciation for everyone sitting in front of me who has helped us to find the puzzle pieces that we were meant to connect to. At this very special moment in time, I would like to congratulate the graduating class of 2018. Your puzzle is complete and you found your matching pieces. You found your purpose within the puzzle. You've learned that the power truly is in the piece. To understand that power is to understand that our piece's distinctive qualities give us a place in this puzzle here at Camden Hills, but also allow us to fit into many other collections of pieces later on in our lives. As graduates, we have all chosen paths to take after leaving this gym tonight that will take us towards the future that we hope to achieve. Along those paths, we will inevitably find ourselves belonging to new communities that are in the process of completing their own puzzles too. It is time for us, the class of 2018, to recognize that we are all missing pieces of those puzzles that are just waiting to be completed. Here is to the journey that our puzzle pieces have now embarked upon. May you never forget this moment or what we have accomplished together, and remember how powerful your unique piece can truly be. Thank you.
The high school experience has been represented in so many different ways, through songs, books, and endless movies and TV shows. While most of these representations succeed in entertaining us, they each fail to explain that there is no universal high school experience. The classic movie The Breakfast Club described the stereotypical roles of the jock, the nerd, and the cheerleader that have been so overplayed in subsequent movies, but not everyone fits these. High School Musical literally tried to tell people to stick to the status quo because the jock and the nerd wanted to try singing, but they eventually broke these stereotypes and landed the lead roles in the musical. I feel that this idea of not fitting into the stereotypical roles of movies is especially applicable to the Camden Hills class of 2018. We are a class of individuals who cannot be labeled or put into boxes. People have tried to label us the least spirited class because we don't really fit the traditional definition of spirit by packing the stands at sporting events or even winning Spirit Week. But that name tag quickly falls off when you look at the enthusiasm exhibited by so many members of our class in their individual pursuits. As a class, we have an immense amount of spirit and energy, but it shoots out in so many different directions that it is often hard to notice that we really are passionate. Our class is filled with individuals who care deeply about their own things. We have political activists, accomplished photographers, stellar athletes, certified firefighters, EMTs, and CNAs. Take Jackson Chadwick, for example, who has volunteered with multiple political campaigns while in high school. Or Tucker Grinnell, Matt Zucra, and Conrad Kranz, who go on their surfing adventures. Or Kyle Wood, who you can be sure to find going for a long ride on his bike. Or Hannah Nolan, who spends her late arrivals and early releases working with a veterinarian. There are so many other extraordinary people in this class who have already followed their passions in high school on top of other commitments. And I know they will continue to be just as dedicated to their interests once we leave Camden Hills. With the amount of dedication in each person in the class of 2018, we could have easily won Spirit Week every year, but we chose to direct our energy elsewhere to pursue our individual passions. And if anyone tries to say we have no school spirit at all, I would just like to remind everybody that Katie Heavey once ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich off the gym floor to try to get us points for Spirit Week. And Robbie Carroll led our entire class, plus a large section of fans near us at the Nationals game on the Washington trip, in a very enthusiastic rendition of Bomb Delele. And let's not forget about Eric Glazer, literally lighting up the dance floor at prom with 43 of those foam lights in his shirt as he danced to every single song. Clearly, we do have some very spirited students in our class. Every member of the class of 2018 has been given the opportunity to follow their interests because of the extraordinary support from members of our community, specifically the teachers and staff here at CHRHS and our parents. The teachers here are truly interested in what we do both inside and outside of the classroom. I will always remember Mrs. Daly asking me about my tennis matches and making sure we were all managing our stress well. Or Ms. Clemmer going to all of our band and chorus concerts and asking us to sign our programs. Or Mr. Kahn showing up in full face paint for soccer games. The energy and dedication shown by our teachers here while they supported us in our endeavors has rubbed off on each and every one of us to make us confident enough to keep doing whatever we find interesting. It seems almost impossible to be any more supportive, but our parents have been there for us since the very beginning. My parents have always told me to do what I want, to do whatever it was that I was interested in at the time, to just try it out and see what happened. This led to me trying fencing for about a month, then karate, then dancing, and a long list of other activities that were quickly abandoned until I found the ones that I loved the most. I know my experience is not unique because every graduate sitting behind me has found or is finding their way to whatever they're passionate about because of the unconditional support given by their parents since the beginning. So, to my fellow classmates and graduates, I want to remind you that even though our Spirit Week losing streak may say otherwise, we are an extremely spirited and passionate class. Take the energy and devotion I have seen in each and every one of you and use it to power you and guide you through life. Make up for our Spirit Week losses by being spirited, enthusiastic, and passionate in whatever you do next in life. I know it's in you, and I can't wait to see what the class of 2018 chooses to put their weight behind next. Thank you.
Here we are, the Camden Hills Regional High School class of 2018. It seemed like this day would never come. The word senior always seemed to be used to refer to someone we would never be. Not too long ago, we all couldn't wait to be seniors and to be trusted as young adults to leave campus when we didn't have classes, but it seemed like it would never happen. Now suddenly we're here, and it feels like it never happened. It went by so fast that it felt like we were never seniors. My baseball coach, Coach Mack, who I know many of the graduates know, and I'm sure many family members do as well, told us on many occasions something that his father told him. He said, "One day you will look in the mirror, and there will be an old man looking back at you, and all you'll have is the memories you made along the way." As we all look in the mirror now, the person looking back at us is getting older and older. But boy, does this class have some memories that we certainly made along the way. It's freshman year, actually the first day of freshman year. The entire class is sitting in the Strom, listening to Dr. I tell us how fast these 4 years are going to go by. He tells us to blink, then says that the 4 years are going to feel like they only lasted for that blink. Nobody believes him. A month later, everybody starts staying up late to work on Mr. Gray's or Miss Daly's or Mr. Wallace's Atlas project, and we begin to ask how we are going to get through 4 years of this. We struggle through our first set of midterm exams and badly lose Spirit Week, but we stay strong and head toward the finish line. Before we know it, we are thanking and saying goodbye to Mrs. Daly as she prepares for retirement, and we ourselves are preparing for final exams and wrapping up our first year here. Suddenly, it's sophomore year. We know our way through the halls, we've started to learn the ropes, and finally there are people younger than us here. The stress of school is not as bad as it was last year because we're more comfortable here. We've started to make more bonds, both within the class and with teachers and other faculty. From putting up pictures of Steve from Blue's Clues all over Mr. Feeney's room, to electing Robbie Carroll with his flamboyant character to be our class president next year, we are showing that we are developing a personality as a class, whether we show the most school spirit during Spirit Week or not. Some of us are turning 16, getting our driver's licenses, and beginning to enjoy the freedom of driving ourselves to school. We're still eager to be upperclassmen, though, and enjoy the other freedoms that they have. This year, we are saying goodbye to Dr. I, the very person who told us that we would be leaving before we know it. Like us now, he is moving on to different adventures. As we move into junior year, everybody tells us it's going to be a big year. We have to take the SAT and start thinking about our plans after high school. We have to show that we are responsible enough to be trusted with the privileges of late arrival and early release. We have to put on the prom at the end of the year, and we have to plan for the Washington trip for next summer, all while trying to keep up with our schoolwork. We are welcoming the new principal, Mr. Sampson, and helping him as he becomes accustomed to the new school. It's strange to think that we're now the ones helping other people get to know the building and the school. In terms of the members of the class itself, people are beginning to use their experiences here and express them through their own personal passions. Megan Gordon's drawings, Emma Hollenbach's and Sophia Buckley Clement's singing, Jack Putas's and Marco D'Amato's photographs, and Jack Nathan's Rubik's Cube solving and physics philosophies are just a few examples of the many talents and interests in this class that continue to be developed. Again, at the end of this year, we have to say goodbye to some people who helped us pursue these interests. This time, we are saying goodbye to Mr. McKenzie after an incredible career of teaching. And we are also saying goodbye to Mr. Sampson and thanking him for helping us get through our big year. Now we are finally seniors. The Washington trip is behind us, and what we hoped would unify the different groups within the class perhaps only separated them more. As we move through the year, though, we grow closer and closer, working toward this night. We finally are trusted as young adults to leave campus when we don't have classes and return when we do, a privilege that we have waited for some time. We are even given this privilege before any other class has ever had it, and we are expected to maintain this privilege for ourselves. It may seem like an insignificant reward, but it drives our class to come together and live up to the expectations that are placed on us. The class begins to unify as we get closer and closer to our ultimate shared goal, which is being here tonight. The puzzle pieces gradually come together, and now they are complete. I speak about these 4 years in the present tense, because they all feel as though they happened together in one period of time and still have not ended. Soon enough, these 4 years will become a part of the past and will be talked about as memories in the past tense. For now, though, as we are on the other side of that blink that began freshman year, let's take a final moment to enjoy and reflect on these 4 years together as they are still happening. Let's ensure that while we are still together, we have the memories that we made and are still making along the way. I'm sure many of the graduates behind me are ready to move on from these memories, as they are in the past and we should be looking to the future. I would say, though, that memories are just as important to the future as they are to the past. Happy memories will make us feel better in times of sadness, and sad memories will help us remember how we overcame tough times and learned from our mistakes. I mentioned all of the people to whom we have said goodbye at the end of each year, as they have moved on to different adventures while we have stayed here. Now we are saying goodbye to all of the students, teachers, administrators, and other staff who will be staying here while we move on to our different adventures. So as we go off on our own, whether it be to college or work or the armed forces or other endeavors, we would like to collectively thank everybody in this audience for allowing us to get here. You will forever be a part of the memories that we have made along the way. I know it's cliche to say thank you in this way, but it needs to be done. Finally, to the class of 2018, I hope we can keep in mind these memories, and I hope that we will be able to share more memories in the future. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Van Dusen. My wife Lori and I live right here in Camden, and I am an author, illustrator of children's picture books. Now, you might be wondering, you might be wondering why I'm up here in the first place, and you're not alone, because I had the same thought. I wasn't really sure why they picked me until I actually got a chance to meet with the officers, the class officers earlier this year. And I asked them, I said, first of all, it's a huge honor for me to be speaking for graduation, but why in the world did you pick me? And they said, well, we grew up with your books, which of course made me feel really old. And, but I figured since they enjoyed my books as kids, I thought, well, maybe they'd like one more story. And so that's what I've done. I've written them one more story, which I'm going to read to you tonight, if that's all right. And like my children's books, is thankfully pretty short. And it actually rhymes too. So, and the title of this story is, and this apparently is sort of a reoccurring theme tonight. Come on, Robbie, start the cheer, graduation day is here. A story for the class of 2018 told in 5 short chapters. And even though my back is to these wonderful students, it is, of course, dedicated to you guys. Let's go back 18 years ago and start at chapter 1. The day you came into this world, your face shone like the sun. You filled your parents' heart with joy. You made them both so proud. They couldn't sleep at all at night because you were so loud. You grew up very quickly. You were 1, then 2, then 3, raised in natural beauty where the mountains meet the sea. But you were just a little kid and far too young to know your parents picked the perfect place to watch you learn and grow. You picnicked on Mount Batty. You ran up all the way. You fished in Lake Magunnacook. You sailed out on the bay. You tumbled down the lime banks that border Walker Park, caught fireflies at Breezemere till it was after dark. You took a dip at Morgan's Mills by jumping off the bridge, or rode your bike to Perry's Pond way up there on the ridge. You came to call on Pearl Street to trick or treat, I bet. You were another ninja in the 1,000 kids we get. At Christmas, it was freezing, but you bravely stood there standing, waiting for the big guy's boat to pull up to the landing. And with the star on Batty shining down on you below, your little town was blanketed in newly fallen snow. So, when you stop and look around, I think this fact is clear. You were a very lucky kid to live and grow up here. Now we're on to chapter 2, your education story. Some began at RES and some at Montessori. Maybe you began with Mrs. Gordon at the start, while Mrs. Wentworth taught you all the different kinds of art. And even for a teacher, Mr. Morse was pretty cool. In spring, he ran cross-country with the kids right after school. With Mrs. Coombs in Lincolnville, you planted carrot seeds, then later traveled to Quebec with leader Mr. Eads. And Mrs. Widows taught you how to play the drums and sing, while good old Mr. Russo kept his eyes on everything. If you were out in Appleton, the minute you stepped in, you were met inside the door by Mrs. Christie's grin. Then Tony fed you lunches in the middle of the day, and later Mr. Payson took you all outside to play. And if you went to school in Hope, the first thing that you knew was Mrs. Hathorn, principal, was watching over you. And Mrs. Holt taught 2nd grade, and boy, she was the best, while Mrs. Williams taught you math and put you to the test. When middle school was wrapping up, you met at Camp Kiev, where you learned to get along, cooperate, behave. You made new friends, then hugged goodbye, remembering the thrills, knowing you would meet again next fall at Camden Hills. Now, chapter 3, your freshman year, you tried to act so cool. Deep down, you were scared to death in this gigantic school. But you found your way around, you lost that freshman fear, and then before you knew it, it was on to sophomore year. Now let's be honest, sophomore year was really one big blur. Ask anyone what they did then, no one can say for sure, except of course for driver's ed. You learned to drive just right and squeeze into a parking spot you thought was way too tight, and then you got your license and you felt just like the man, cruising downtown Camden in your mom's sweet minivan. Some of you slayed junior years while others just survived. Then finally, after 12 long years, your senior year arrived. The year that you've been waiting for, the year you wouldn't miss for all the money in the world. It all led up to this. You truly were BMOC. This year would sure be fun. But first you had to get good grades and do what need be done. You finished homework, took the test, but still had time to play, and racked up some impressive titles all along the way. You were champs in tennis and were champs in soccer too, and swimming and cross country and golf, to name a few. You elected Noah president, but wouldn't it be great if he became the real one in 2048? That's for you, Noah. And don't forget the faculty, the teachers you met daily, like Mr. Withy, Eris, and your favorite, Mrs. Daly. You even took a bus trip and you traveled to DC to visit sites in person you'd seen only on TV. Mike Pence was seen by half the class, the others didn't see him. The mood was sad and somber at the Holocaust Museum. But at the Nationals ballpark, Robbie worked the crowd. 30,000 people chanting Bumdaleo loud. Now, chapter 4, the time has come to offer some advice. And I have just 2 things to say. Have fun, and please be nice. The first one I suggest, have fun. That sounds so simple, right? But I don't mean you should stay out late and party every night. Instead, I mean set down the phone and step outside the door. Travel and go see the world. Discover and explore. Please don't let your life fly by while staring at a screen. Do things that you haven't done. See things you haven't seen. You don't need tons of money nor venture very far. Have you seen Gulf Haggis? You can travel there by car. Now, I'm not saying just don't work. No, that's not what I mean. But find a job where you have fun with playtime in between. Remember all the fun you had when you were just a kid? Turn those things into your job. Don't laugh. That's what I did. No, don't get pushed into a job you know you'll end up hating. First, have fun and get outside. The whole wide world is waiting. The second one is please be nice. Come on, you know you should. The way the world is heading now, well, things aren't looking good. The way that some communicate is raunchy and it's rude. The way that people interact is cranky and it's crude. The blaming, shaming, name-calling, and all that slimy stuff, it's negative and nasty. And I think we've had enough. So, don't get sucked into the sludge. No, take the higher path. Avoid the muddy gutter or you'll have to take a bath. Spread good feelings all around as you walk down the street. Kindly hand out compliments to people that you meet. But keep your comments positive. Don't let your words slip south. Remember, after all, you kiss your mother with that mouth. You'll notice the compassion that you offer every day will make a great big difference, will go a long, long way to making this big world of ours a much more lovely place by saying please and thank you with a smile upon your face. And finally, in chapter 5, we celebrate this class. We shake their hand, we pump their fist, we slap them on the back. This class is so outstanding and exceptionally smart. Some are junior scientists and some make gorgeous art. Some aim far and globally while others keep things local. Some don't say a thing at all while others are quite vocal. Some are actors, some are writers, some are great musicians, some are thinkers, some are doers, some are smart technicians. For some, it'd be a simple cinch to fix a broken clutch. Some are awesome athletes, and others, not so much. But you'll agree, I think, with me, no matter what their plans, this world will be a better place. The future's in their hands. So you, out there, the teachers, friends, the fathers and the mothers, the grandparents, the relatives, the sisters and the brothers, please take a minute, glance up here, and catch your students' eyes. Look how far they've come, and do your best to memorize the image of them sitting there smiling down at you. With that smile, they're thanking you for everything you do. And your smile back should signal just how much they make you proud. So give them all a great big hand, and please clap really loud. Thank you.
I'll just take mine so I don't get confused. Okay. Halsey May Yada. Taylor Johnson. Amanda Mirabili. Hannah Catherine Nolan. Eliza Grace Cameron Brown. Diana Young. Olivia Goodwin Cook. Sarah Cashman Contento. Robert Edison Carroll. Jillian Wood. Nicole Brown. Mackenzie Gordon Brown. Letitia May Billings. Emily May Long.
Sophia Buckley Clement. Emma Simmons. Fiona Moran Sewell. Audrey Jill Ambrosine Harritz Smith. Madison Irene Brasher. Devin Winslow. Abby Elizabeth O'Donnell. Hannah Elizabeth Walker. Amelia Larson Tausick. Catherine Bishop. Callie Morse. McKenna Kylie Sullivan. Lindsay J. Riley. Sydney Elaine Fields. Sydney Nicole Moody. Sophie Lillian Dorsky. Peyton Lauren Wiley. Lily Turner Watts. Frances Catherine Woodworth. Marta Weeks Denny. Olivia Marie Powers. Charlotte Hope Leparulo. Annalie Bird Carroll. Catherine Grace Daly. Claire Marie Pierce. Isaac Kieran. Lexi St. Clair. Catherine Elizabeth Heavey. Nova Richardson. Stryker Allison Rocknack. Daya Lynn. Natalie Elizabeth Orr. Cameron Ray Langill. Amelia Braun. William Andrew Murphy Parks. Matthew Joseph Zucra. Alex Zachary Dion. Marco Tomich D'Amato. Emma Claire Hollenbeck. Melia Therese Russell. John David Nathan. Kira N. Barley. Megan Gordon. Megan Gallagher. Mackenzie Bryn Schechter. Keisha Lane. Ashley Lynn Hartwell Williams. Jill Samantha Freitag. Emily Grace Pratt. Piper Cody Dunton. Daniel James Lyden. Cameron Michael Christie. Braden Swan. Kenneth Ivan Dare. Marshall Ferris Merriam. Gideon Santiago Lincoln Baeza. Mia DeWard. Thomas Nason McClellan. Jillian LaFleche. Lauren Elizabeth Miller. Amber Marie Rose Budd. Joseph Davis II. Cole Cortez. William K-Rod. Madison Haley Maxwell. Emily Rose Batty.
William Emery Nickerson. Jesse William Fraser. Noah Hydorn. Eric Michael Glazer. Allison Jane Wells. John William Chilton. Cole Gregory Corey. Corrado Rossi. Maya Dorothy Wiley. Roscoe McFarland. Hunter Hoskins. Benjamin Adam Benson. Brandon Pease Frampton. Michael Rusillo. Kyle Micah Wood. Jackson Scott Chadwick. Alexander Wintringham Vokey. Jocks F. Putas. Colt Magri. Braden Elijah Fisher. Adam Blue Bifulco. Rowan Warden. Nicholas Watts. Ellie Halbuena Cook. Heaven Destiny Dudley. Daisy Bragdon. India Bakiel. Lily Brooks Weatherington. Susanna Helen Gray. Noah Erskine. Quentin James Surik. Christian Diebler. Stephen Everett Crawford. Jenna Nicole Stearns. Zebediah Appleton Pease. Emmett Miles Acosta. Simon Conover Morin. Justin Wright. Lee Leo Kalajian. Christian Kibler. Cooper Dietrich Russell. Tyler Dodd. Trevor James Iltis. Dylan Avilis. Hunter Pease. Michael Arvidsson. Elliot Samuel Matlick. Andrew James Pitcairn. Calvin Abbott James. Liam James Haining. Lucas Charles Bosch. Seth Martin Yates. Hugh David Levitt. Tucker O'Toole Grinnell. Conrad Michael Kranz. Sawyer King. Isaac Bricker. Jeanette Elizabeth Baxter. Jasmine Anne-Marie Gilman. Sylvan Colby Gamage. Riley Ernest Philbrook. Jay Osgood. Aaron Daniel Jones. Audrey Michaela Clement. John Joseph Blasey Curtin. Thomas Griebel. Daniel Peabody. Mark Anthony Toko. Connor Patrick O'Dwyer.
Seniors, you may not have coalesced until tonight, but you've done us proud nonetheless. I'm pleased to present you as graduates of Camden Hills Regional High School. Congratulations, CHRHS Class of 2018.
Somehow they knew my voice would crack the first time I was up here, so they gave me 2 so I'd have a chance to redeem myself. First of all, I'd like to introduce Simon O'Shea, president of the class of 2019. One of my favorite quotes is from Roberto Clemente, as he said, "If you have a chance to accomplish something that will make things better for the people coming behind you, and you don't do that, you are wasting your time on this earth." While the class of 2018 is still together, we have the opportunity to provide some advice for the people coming behind us, the class of 2019, as they prepare for their final year here next year. Since we have this opportunity, it is part of our responsibility to ensure that we provide this advice to next year's graduating class and to its president, Simon O'Shea. Being a senior class officer, especially the senior class president, is a challenging task. Finishing up fundraisers, keeping track of the class's financial situation for scholarships and class gifts, finding a guest speaker for graduation, and planning all of the events in this final week are just some of the tasks that will need to be completed. It is a lot of work, and it does take a significant amount of time. However, we would like to offer some advice in order to help Simon and the other class officers complete these tasks efficiently and make the class of 2019 senior year as positive and as memorable as possible. First, take everything one step at a time. Putting together the entire graduation week seems like a daunting task, but as simple or as cliche as it sounds, it is much more manageable if it is handled one task at a time. Second, seek help from the rest of the class. Many hands really do make light work, and completing the senior year tasks is much easier if the rest of the class is supportive and helpful. Finally, remember the ultimate goal of your efforts and what the reward for meeting that goal is. The reward of having a memorable senior year and a memorable graduation week with the rest of the class is the best reward of all, and it should be used as motivation for completing all of the tasks that need to be done. We hope that this advice will be helpful to the class of 2019 as they work toward their own graduation ceremony next year. While it is a lot of hard work, we would like to remind Simon and the other class officers to still enjoy the senior year, as it goes by much faster than it seems like it should. So on behalf of the class of 2018, I would like to present this gown to Simon and wish him and the class of 2019 the best of luck next year and the years beyond. Thank you. You can go sit down.
Class of 2018, I'm honored to stand here with you in our final minutes as students at Camden Hills Regional High School. Years of experiences here have shaped a class that will undoubtedly go on to do great things, and I encourage you all to take a second to appreciate the moments that have brought us here. The lessons we've learned at this school, in classes, on the field, in study halls with friends, have formed who we are as we go into this next phase of our lives. At this school, we've discovered interests in clubs and sports, we've found strengths in ourselves, we've made lifelong connections, we've survived all the homework, all the tests, and all the Spirit Week losses. We've gotten to know ourselves and each other with team building at Kiev and with 15-hour bus rides to and from Washington, D.C. This school has cultivated our relationships, our passions, our personal determination, the things we're proud of, and the things that we want to improve. Parents and families of Camden Hills graduates, you have watched these students light up with passion and dedicate themselves to their interests. You've watched them persist in the face of struggles and learn from their mistakes. You've seen the obstacles they've overcome and the mentors they've learned from. You and every community and faculty member have helped us grow and find purpose. And now, class of 2018, we've flipped our tassels and received our diplomas. Every influential moment and person has led up to this achievement. This school has supported us as we've persevered through challenges and celebrated accomplishments. Those obstacles and victories have shaped the people that we've become. Everything that this school has given us, we will carry with us through the next chapter in our lives. Just imagine the kind of impact each of us is going to have, the lives we're going to change, and the ways we'll grow and contribute to the world. We owe gratitude to the community that has shaped us, and we owe ourselves congratulations for working so hard to complete these 4 years. I am honored to be one of the graduates of this class and to celebrate our accomplishments at this school before we take these gifts that Camden Hills has given us and use them to make the world a better place. Good luck, class of 2018.